Hola, konnichiwa, turubem. ¿Cómo estás? Hello. What it do? Thank you for listening to another episode of the J Boyks podcast. J Boyks Sports podcast. And today I want to do a video really just discussing greatness and why it's easy in this particular instance to respect someone like Kobe Bean Bryant. And I'm not going to do too much talking before we start this video. I'm just going to get right into it. But Bill Belichick and Nick Saban are going to talk to us about Kobe Bryant. And these are two of the most well-respected people in all of sports and two of the biggest winners of all time in any sport, definitely in America. So let's just listen to them. Let's just jump right into it, and then we'll discuss why it's easy to respect Kobe Bean Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, my perspective of him when he came here and talked to our team, he said, I knew I could never be perfect, but I was always cutting the gap between where I was and perfect. And I knew I could never get there, but it didn't matter. I always wanted to be the best player. And one of the players asked him, how did you score 60 points in the last game that you played? And he said, I worked 8 hours a day for 365 days a year so I could get through that season when I was 40 years old or however old he was. He said, they don't put that part on ESPN.
Right.
Really kind of interesting, that...
And another thing he said to us, which was an awesome message, was, I was 25, I could go out and score 30. When I was 35, 38, I could score 30, but it wasn't the same way. I had to learn how to play without the ball. I had to learn how to, play in less space. I had to learn how to use picks differently. I couldn't just drive to the basket like I could in my younger days. I could still score, but I had to change my game. And that was so enlightening, I would say, for all our players that heard that, because you're sitting there looking at his career, and then, we're all thinking about ours. And it's just, it's changed for me, just like it's changed for the players.
So thank you, Coach Saban and Coach Belichick. I hated Coach Belichick, man. And it's not personal. I just hated the Patriots. Couldn't stand them. I was tired of them, man. I'm an Eagles fan. So their success was my agony. Them and the Cowboys. There's no two franchises that made me want to jump off the roof more. But Bill Belichick has 6 NFL rings. 6. Which in football is insane. Just to get to 6 Super Bowls in football is insane. In the National Football League is insane. Nick Saban has 7 college championships. Also insane. It's insanely difficult to win championships in football. It's supposed to be. But these two gentlemen did it. And here they are, gloating almost. Smiling if you actually see the video, which is, they're not really smilers like that. They didn't used to be. Talking about Kobe Bryant. When he came to talk to their teams, as if these two gentlemen need someone else to help them motivate their teams to win championships when there's 13 of them between them. But they called on one guy, the Mamba. Nick Saban said that Kobe said, they asked him, how did you score 60 in your last game? He said, I worked 8 hours a day for 365 days. Are you kidding me? First of all, to have seen Kobe at the end of his career, he was nowhere near the player that he used to be. It wasn't even close. Nothing looked the same. Nothing looked as fluid, pause no diddy, the way I said that, as it used to be. If you've seen prime Kobe Bryant, it almost looked painful down the stretch for him. It did, right? Big supporter, but it looked painful at times for me to see what he no longer was. Still managed to score 60 in his last game. 8 hours a day for 365 days. And he said they don't put that on ESPN. Belichick said that he came in and he told these guys, he said, listen, I could still score 30, but it wasn't the same 30. I had to use my mind to figure out a way to be successful. So why is it that even other greats can respect Kobe Bryant? And I think there's two things that you need to focus on the most. If you're somebody that doesn't like Kobe and you're trying to figure out why other people like Kobe, I can give you two reasons, okay? One, work ethic. No one in the history of the universe ever got mad at somebody that had a crazy work ethic. Real recognizes real. When you hear about the work ethic of somebody that doubles and triples yours, it's easy to respect that. Somebody tells you I worked 8 hours a day for 365 days. Now, normally you'd be like, this guy's, this is nonsense. But if you watched Kobe Bryant, the real crazy part is you believe him. And if you believe that, that's why it's easy to respect him. Who does that? Why would you do that? Who has that level of focus, that level of dedication? Right? Who has that? You hear that and you're just like, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. And I'll give you the second thing. The second thing is you want to be that. That's what you want. That's what you want for your life. You want to be that dedicated. You want to be that focused. You want to find a way to be that successful, to have that drive. You want that. Real recognize real. You respect that. And you want it for yourself. And so you say to yourself, man, it's easy to respect this guy. I want that. I want to be that hardworking. How do I do that? Right? That's Mamba mentality. So in a room full of alphas and you stand out to the other alphas, oh, you want to be that. You want to be the top alpha. Kobe Bryant led the Olympic team. Who was on that Olympic team? Dwayne Wade was on that Olympic team. That Olympic team. Melo, Bron, J. Kidd, right? Chris Paul, Dwight Howard, prime Dwight Howard. And one man stood on top of all of them, the alpha among alphas. And you know why? Because of the things I just said. They saw the work. They witnessed it. And at that point, you have two options. Either admit that he's better than you, or be competitive and say, you know what? I want that. I want to be the best. I want to be the best version of myself. And so a third reason why people can easily respect Kobe Bryant is because he inspired you. And it wasn't smoke and mirrors. He was actually putting in the work. He inspired you to want to be the best version of yourself. He inspired you. He inspired you. Greatness was easy to see. It was oozing from this man. Pause, no Diddy once again. He inspired you to want to be the best version of yourself. I'll give you a fourth one, relatability. I'm not Kobe Bryant. I tried to be when I was younger. I tried to play basketball like Kobe Bryant. I couldn't. I would get frustrated, but then I looked around and I said, yo, honestly, ain't nobody playing basketball like Kobe Bryant. How do you do that? How do you mimic some of these things? But I also wasn't practicing for 8 hours, 365 days a year, even when I was a kid, when I had that time to actually do that. Not no 8 hours, but I had hours and hours and hours. And funny enough, I was actually way better at basketball after high school because I had more time. I was driving. I could put myself in the gym. It takes practice. but he inspired. You know, he inspired you to be the best version of yourself. And he was relatable. And you could relate that same mentality to anything that you do. So it was easy to respect Kobe Bryant. And the last thing I'll say, a fifth thing, when you watched Kobe Bryant, you realize that, like, no, this guy actually is great. And the things that he said, he actually is great. He's greatness. He's not a god. You don't need to worship him like an idol. But what he said, he actually did. He would say these ridiculous things, and they're ridiculous to the average person because you've never experienced that level of dedication, that level of focus. And when somebody gets right in your face and says, listen, this is what I'm going to do. Either you're going to jump in or you're going to just get out the way. And you hear that and you're like, this guy's just, this is a joke. But then you hear the stories, you watch the results, and you're like, no, this maniac was serious. This psychopath was serious. And so if you're actually going to look at somebody else, when you believe you're great and whatever you do, you could be a great father, a great husband, a great chef. To call somebody else great and respect their greatness, I don't know about you, but for me, they actually have to be great. For me to give you that level of praise, it has to be real to me. I have to see it. I have to feel it. It's got to walk the walk. It's got to talk the talk. It's got to look the part. There's no faking that. And so when we talk about Kobe Bryant and we talk about why it's easy to respect him, why Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, who look like they don't respect anybody, can have this level of admiration, almost giddy glee, smiling. These two guys, smiling, talking about another man's greatness. It's unheard of. Kobe was the alpha's alpha, and it wasn't by accident. For somebody who believes in greatness to call you great, you really got to be great. And so I wanted to do this video to touch on these things. Kobe Bryant to me was greatness. Now, is he my God? No. Did he do everything right? No. Is he my idol? No. I don't believe in idols. Every man is a man, no matter how much money they have or how little money they have. But there are some men that are truly great. And you have to respect that level of greatness. The alphas among alphas. And for Kobe Bryant, when you watched him, when you listened to him talk, when you saw the work he put in, when you saw how he approached difficult things in life, instead of running from them, he ran to them. He was fearless. You begin to understand what greatness is. And this is what's missing in some ways from basketball today. The stories. What makes you great? Don't tell me somebody's great. I need to see it. I need to feel it. Feel it. I don't want to hear it. I want to feel it. Pause. No Diddy. Thank you for your time listening to the J Boys podcast. I want to talk a little bit about greatness and what it really is. Why alphas recognize alphas. Why it's easy to respect somebody like Kobe Bean Bryant. He literally deserves that respect. He earned it. I didn't give it to him. So please like, share, and subscribe to the J Boy Sports Podcast. Share with your friends. I appreciate you. Much love.
I can tell that somehow you'll never get over leaving me. And when you feel like